Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Game Vault podcast stream. I'm your host, Mark, and we're here for the news hour, the first one of 2025. Yay! And as you can see, I still put 2024 in the Twitch thing. Let me change that so the archives are right. Yeah, I got to start doing 25. It's kind of insane. So this episode should be a shorter one. I think there's only 3 news stories in general. I mean, I could have talked about movie stuff connected to video games, but that's not really what this podcast does. Yeah, be prepared to do that for the next 3 months, right, Meta Militia? So just going to open up with the games I played, a couple things I actually been watching on YouTube, which is kind of funny. And then we'll get into the news stories, and then we'll close out. I'm guessing about a half hour or so, unless if I talk way too much. Get some house cleaning out of the way, as they say. We'll have Sonic 3, hopefully, tonight. Last time I tried to stream Sonic 3, my frames were dropping like crazy, and I couldn't get it. I just chalked that up to a weird anomaly, because it has not affected anything since. I was able to do Eternights and the big 6-hour New Year's Eve stream, which I believe is live on YouTube if you missed it. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, we should be able to do Sonic, and then sailing the seas for too long for the stream. Oh, yeah, that's what I did. Thursday we will be doing some more Chrono Trigger. We're finishing up a thing there, and then we'll have Friday is going to be our Game of the Year podcast. I have 2 confirmed guests for that, and possibly a fourth person, a third guest. So just stay on tunes for that. What's going to happen is we're going to do our top 3 games, or if you only have 2, you can just say 2. I have a whole top 10 list that I'm going to put a video out on that I'm currently working on the editing and writing of right now. That'll go up on Monday along with the podcast, so that you can listen to, listen to the podcast, watch the video. I guess we'll have... I gotta do video stuff for Friday as well. So, but anyway, that's what's going on Friday. Then we're going to finish Eternights on Saturday. And then Sunday, we'll be back here for the news hour. Like I said, we're going to be streaming every day but Tuesday and Wednesday. I also got some new glasses. They don't fall off my face, which is nice. That's about it here. Podcast Prime's going to be coming back. We still in discussions with that. A couple new things might be changing in terms of streams and YouTube and stuff like that. I always have the goal, and I'm trying to figure out how to do it, to just get more of me playing new games out there that we wouldn't normally have on. Maybe I won't stream them. Maybe I'll just put them as YouTube videos. I don't know. If I'm going to be on here, I might as well just do it. It just means we're going to have like some really long Saturday and Sunday streams of me playing games on here. But I do want to get some new content out to you guys. Even if it's not a full playthrough, it's at least our version of like a quick look, like the first 2 hours of something when I start something. And then if we enjoy it as a stream, we can continue it as in some rotation. I kind of like that idea for picking a day and doing that, just random stuff. That's basically it for content pertaining to the site, or the podcast. What I've been playing. It's been a lot of stuff since Sunday, if you got the Shuffler. So we'll start off. The Shuffler went great. I played less of the randomizers than I would like, but they were each equally challenging. One had a bug in it where I couldn't use my sword until I died, which was weird. The other one put me in almost an unwinnable position Put a lot of tough enemies during the escape part in Link to the Past, which is the opening part where you bring the princess from the castle to the sanctuary. They put a lot of high-level enemies in there. I've randomized the enemies. So it was like a gauntlet trying to get through there with the original sword. What else? Yeah, Road Rash 2. We got to the second level of races. We got far. We whistled to World 4 or 5. In I think World 5 in Mario 3. Got a good bit there. We got through to World 2 on Mario 1. And then Mario 2, we got a good bit away, and I was getting some extra lives since I memorized the game. So that was fun. We had Sonic the Hedgehogs in there, and we took them out at one point just because Sonic 1 was frustrating the hell out of me and was like draining the fun from it. So I took that out. And then we had some weird games that only went through a couple times before I took them out, which includes the Fantastic Dizzy, Powerhouse 2000 or Firepower 2000, Wayne's World, and this pro hockey game. That's totally not NHL licensed, but NHLPA licensed, which was a big thing in the early to mid 90s, where the Players Association would give the rights to the players, but not the team names. The original Madden is, or Madden 92 or whatever it is probably the most famous of that, turning into a long-term franchise. A lot of the ones that only got split names ended up, not lasting. But, hey, Night Duck, how you doing? So we eliminated those and then just played, we left Wheel of Fortune in. We won the final puzzle. We had, I'm going back to that once I'm done here. He's talking about AGDQ, Awesome Games Done Quick, just for those of you. I don't have the chat on this screen. I got to put the chat on this screen. I'll do that for next week. Yeah, so we got through that, and then we did a little trivia thing. Jonathan wrote up a great thing of all the new characters in ZZZ, which got me to re-download it, which I might pick that up during the week. Or over the next couple weeks or whatever. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. Very well done. I appreciate the work and time he put into that, because it did make a really good segment and a good break from the shuffler. And then we just played out the shuffler till midnight. I did have a plan to do Fuser, but by the time we got to like 11:20, I just asked everybody in chat. I was just like, hey guys, do you really want to do the Fuser thing? It's really hard to set up because I don't even know if the game will work, just because it's a weird thing. It's a whole thing where I have to, silo it off so that I can just delete it so that we don't get hit with copyrights because it is music. And I was just like, I was getting a little tired. People in chat were getting near the end. So, yeah, it was just, I was just like, I'm just going to play through the shuffler. So we finished out the shuffler, celebrated the new year, and then called it. It's all up on YouTube if you want to watch it. It was a lot of fun. It went really fast the first 4.5 hours or so. In that last hour and a half, I think Sonic started to get to me. Oh yeah, if we we could have done that. Yeah, the last hour and a half, I think Sonic started to real get to me. So I tried to make sure it was only games I wanted to play that were popping up. So yeah, it's fun. Just watch the video. Played through other stream game I played through. Eternights, we got all the way through to the last thing before the final boss. We got through the final dungeon. We fought probably the second to last boss. And I finished out the thing with Sia. I got to be just friends with Yuna. We're going to finish out Yuna's thing as soon as we load up next time. And then we'll... I guess the next thing that would be useful would be to do one of the trainings and get enough white essence to upgrade something. But I think we're good to go for the boss. Because once I got into a rhythm with the boss we were fighting, I was able to, use everything I had and sort of figure things out. I just kept fucking up on the fights towards that boss, where I was forgetting what element matched up to what, and I kept missing opportunities to break shields. But besides that, it went really well, and we should have that finish up next week. And then Saturday will become Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky second chapter. I just learned, I had completely forgotten that Tom had put the whole first game up on the YouTube when I streamed it. I thought those were lost forever, but which leads me to fun thing, which I'll talk at the end of the segment here while I was finding those videos. So what I've been playing off stream, I finished Indiana Jones. That game is incredible if you love Indiana Jones. Troy Baker does a great, you can see a little Troy Baker come through, mannerisms and voice, but I would say 98 to 99% of the time you cannot tell. He sounds like a young Harrison Ford, and it's ridiculous. And everything about that game, I jokingly said to myself, and I'll also put this, because obviously it's going to be in my top 10 of the year. I'm going to be a little more detailed than what I'm going to say here, but essentially I felt like this was the first great Indiana Jones story since probably Last Crusade. I think the story, the characters, the way it's presented is much better than the last two movies. And this is set between Raiders and Last Crusade, because as you know, Temple of Doom is a prequel. So they set this between us. So there's a lot of Marion stuff. They even got Karen Allen. They either got her to do the voice or they use voice samples from the movies to be in it. I would hope they had her re-record and paid her for it, but God knows with AI nowadays. Yeah, they set in a good spot, and they did a very good thing with the everybody knows the trope of a Bond girl, and I didn't realize that there was an indie girl trope sort of thing until I saw the girl they presented in here, and I was like, oh, yes, this is the type of person that needs to be with Indiana, because he needs somebody to sort of match up with in terms of smarts and wit and stuff like that. Because when he can be a smart ass, he needs somebody to knock him down a level. And Gina is a really good character for that. And story aside, gameplay, there's nothing better than punching and hitting Nazis with things and hitting fascists with things. Indie music girl. No, like a Bond girl, an indie girl. An Indiana Jones girl, but that just sounds way too long to say, and probably would be the better way to say it. But yeah, there's nothing better than walking up behind a Nazi and hitting him in the back of the head with a shovel. Or you can do some stupid shit where you can get their attention and then squat down and just punch them in the dick a bunch until they die. That would always be fun. But yeah, the combat's great. I did not shoot a Nazi. I only used melee combat throughout the whole game, which was a thing I wanted. And there are two scenes in the game where they expect you to pick up a gun and start shooting. And literally, I just sat there behind cover and waited for the scene to progress and see, will they just progress the scene if I'm just sitting here not getting shot? And needless to say, they did. The only time I shot a gun was there's a mandatory one what you can't avoid, which is probably why they didn't have a trophy for not shooting, which is a bummer because I was doing it to see if there was an achievement, not a trophy, for it. Is when you're in a plane and you're in the back seat of a biplane with a machine gun, you're shooting other biplanes. You have to shoot there, or else the game you'll get killed and it'll send you back to the checkpoint. Um, so that has been a ton of fun. I had so much fun with that game. That game ranks so much higher than I thought it would. So yeah, I highly recommend it if you have Game Pass to go out and get that game. If you have any interest in Indiana Jones, you're going to love it. I can't guarantee if you don't love Indiana Jones if you will love it. There's a little bit of that charm to it that you need if you like those movies. Yeah, highly recommend it. And I also played through some more Infinite Wealth. I didn't get to as much Life is Strange stuff as I wanted to, but yeah, Infinite Wealth is the only other game I've really played in the last week. It's getting better, but it's still not as good as some of the games on my list. So it's going to rank a little bit lower. I just don't, and I mentioned this in the video. I just didn't feel any connection to the teammates, the party members here, as I did in the first game. All those characters were almost perfect as JRPG side characters. These are a little different. They went a little more Yakuza, Kiryu style with these people than the crazy like a dragon people in 7. And there's a little more Kiryu story in this, and a slight spoiler, but he shows up pretty early in the game. And he's on the cover. He's on the cover of the game, so I don't mind mentioning his name. He is literally on the cover of the game. So they didn't really click. Some of the systems are getting better. I just unlocked the way to get jobs or extra jobs. Some of them are fun. So maybe maybe it would have crept a little higher than it will be when I do the final list. But I think it hit its ceiling because I do not think it's better than my top 5. Any of the games in my top 5, I do not think it'll better, and I do not think it will be better, no matter if I finish the game or not. I think it's right where it should be. So there you go, a little spoiler. Infinite Wealth's not going to be in the top 5, but I think it hit its ceiling. I won't tell you what number that is, but yeah. So playing through that. Continuing to play NCAA. Hell of a game. Every time I play it, I enjoy playing it, and when I get done playing it, I'm like, shit, I should have played all the other games that I played. I think if the list goes the way I think there's going to be some good conversations. At least between me and Tom's list. But yeah, the NCAA is still great. I'm nearing over 200 hours. I've been ready for weeks too. It was just the holidays with kids and stuff like that. I didn't want to rush anyone. And it allows me to give me some time to have edited and got most of the video ready. So that all I have to do is to put the final touches on it on Sunday and put it out there. So, and the other game that I've been playing a lot of Balatro. On my phone and on the computer. I have both saves synced up to the same amount of decks cleared. That is a hell of a game. It is very addictive. Like I said, it scratched the itch that I had with Marvel Snap and Inscription. When that Infinite mode came out, I played that for days straight. Like every other day, not 24 hours straight. But yeah, it's been really time consuming. And thankfully, having it on my phone, I can do it at times I wouldn't be around on video games anyway, so I don't feel like I'm wasting my time not playing anything else. And then the other things I re-downloaded ZZZ, so I'm probably going to jump back into that in January. I downloaded the trial for Dragon Age Vanguard. Probably not going to play it, but maybe I will. I want to finish Infinite Wealth first and then see what's coming out in January and February. to see if there's anything else. And also, as I had stated earlier, I want to start a new thing where I play at least the opening of every time I start a new game on stream, and just see if it can become a stream game or if not. Sort of like a quick look type of thing that Giant Bomb used to do, just for you guys here. So yeah, that's it for games I played. The one fun thing that occurred while I was looking up Trails in the Sky, or I was looking up old stuff for something. Oh, I was looking up the old top 10 lists last year and just seeing how I did that video. It's going to be slightly different this year because it's just going to be my top 10, and not the collective groups. One, I think it'd be better to do individual. It kind of messy when I watched it back there, but yeah, I found our E3 2021 playlist, which for some reason we didn't save, or something happened with the Sony file, or maybe Sony wasn't there, because it's only 4 of them, and I mentioned streaming, maybe it's Summer's Games Fest, because I mentioned on one of the videos that I had streamed the day before, and we only had one of those videos on there. So I don't know what happened. Again, there's a Final Fantasy 16 playthrough that's only halfway done because I think I lost 3 of the videos in there. So I just stopped it, and nobody was watching it, so it didn't matter. But yeah, so that could have happened. We got the Ubisoft, which was the one that I watched the same day as the Wholesome Direct, and I think that would have been the first Summer Games Fest. I'm not sure. I have to look. I'll look that up after stream. But yeah. So I was rewatching that, and I was watching the Xbox conference, and it was just funny to hear, our opinions on things, and how excited Night Duck got at Stalker 2's announcement. Back in 2021, it was like no idea they would ever do a sequel to that, like a Stalker 2. So that was fun to see him in the chat get excited. That's why I do those things, try to do them live. And then also see a game like Contraband that premiered there, and we've heard nothing about it since from Avalanche. And then they closed the show with Redfall, and remembering that trailer ended up being nothing like the game, as a Night Duck mentioned in our chat. They literally showed them riding around in a car, and there is no vehicles in Redfall, as far as I remember. So, yeah. And then I was just watching through the Square Enix one and forgot that 2/3 of that conference is just Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, literally a playthrough of a level, interviews. It's just 2/3 of it is that. And then they do they do a couple other things, and then they do the Pixel remasters for Final Fantasies 1 through 6. And then there's there's a couple other things that are just weird. The Nintendo one's pretty fun. There. Yeah, it was real. That game is great. I will stand by that. I really enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy, but that presentation was very, very boring, and did not show off how good that game was at all until you played it. I was surprised by it. I bought it literally on sale at a GameStop new for half price, because the GameStop couldn't sell it new. Exactly. Yeah, as Square Enix marketing was told that the best way to sell a joke is to explain it to everyone before you tell it. Yeah, that's 100% true. So that was fun. Look those up. Those are all on YouTube. They're on playlist, so you can watch it through. I'm going to, sometime this week, because you notice there's going to be videos coming up, I think, every day through the 16th of the month, and I'm going to try and keep as up-to-date as possible. It's not going to be that frequent after that. It's a lot of backlog that I put up, but we'll probably be updating. I'm going to try and do stream, download, and then upload 2 days later. Like, literally, let's use an example. Like, I do this in one night, but this is only about a half hour to an hour, so it's an easy, download, and to get it done. I could probably do them same day, but it just depends on when it is. Eternights, I could probably get up the next day. Sonic may be a little bit of an issue, but either way, it'll be within a day or two of the streams, so that's how I'll do it. And then Tom handles Chrono Trigger, so because he has that on his computer end there, so those will be going up. So that's one of the goals going forward in 2025, which is partially my next segment for we getting to the couple of news things. As I'm going to do is try and stay up to date on the YouTube. So the three things for sure coming in 2025 that'll be different here on Game Vault Pod, or Game Vault Podcast, or however we want to. It's a podcast now that does multiple things. I think Game Vault Pod is a good moniker for the channel. We're going to be bringing Podcast Prime back. We'll probably have the first episode sometime in February. I'll need to talk to Tom and Jen about that. Basically, what that's going to be is just we're going to discuss the biggest stories of the last month or so, or however long it's been, together in the news segment. I'll send some stuff to Jen. She'll find some of her quirky stuff for that. And then we'll pick a retro roulette game that'll be separate from my retro roulette endurance runs. And that'll be a game, be like a book club. That'll be a game you have a month or so to play through. Play as much as you can, and then we'll have a full discussion of it the next month. So that's how we're going to handle that. And then we'll do the what have you been playing. And since it's been a month, 5, 6 weeks, however long, there's not going to be a set schedule for when it's going to be coming up. I will give you notice on here. It'll be on our socials. Hopefully a week in advance I can give for the live stream of it. So you guys can join and chat and all that. And then, so we'll do the what have you been playing, a little bit in the news, game club there. And then if we do any other segments with the children involved, that might be enough. Just what we've been playing, news, and talk about the game. Not do any kind of thing in the middle. Maybe something in the news may bore out a topic that we expand on, something like that. I'm going to talk it over with the two of them, and we can play that. But that's number one, Podcast Prime. That'll just be the Game Vault Podcast. The full name will be on that one. I shorten this to Game Vault Pod News Hour, just because I will still be doing weekly news hours every Sunday, hopefully at 9. It was 9:30 tonight because I was, like I said, doing some editing for the top 10, and I didn't realize what time it was. That's why the clock started at 9:28. Be 9 o'clock every Sunday, and we'll just recap the week. The only reason I'm really doing that is just in case, because what'll happen is it'll be the most up-to-date for me. Like, it'll post on Monday, and I'll have Sonic or whatever, the roulette game, on Monday, and anything I talk about on Monday, I won't be talking about, games I played on Saturday and Sunday that are not in the podcast, and it already makes the podcast irrelevant. And also, if any stories come up over the weekend or something, we can put on there as well. I think Sunday's a good spot for the news hour. And so that's all that. Podcast wise, number 2 is we're going to be, as I say, keeping up to date with the YouTube VODs. So any of you that watch the VODs out there, there are some of you that absolutely love Chrono Trigger. I think the last 3 videos have gotten over 30 something views, almost within a few days of it going up. There are other outliers that get a lot of views as well. But for some reason that one everybody just jumps on immediately. So I don't know. I've been trying to copy what Tom does in his thing and using tags and all that stuff, but the other videos just can't seem to get as much traction. So maybe it's just the game. But so we'll be up to date as much in that. like I said, it won't be a daily thing because we're not streaming daily here. It'll be that way through, like I said, the 16th. Or it might end up being daily for a while until we start catching up. All the Extra Life stuff will be up soon from 2024, except for Night 4, because I did not save my Lake House playthrough. So if you hear mention of a Night 4, there is no Night 4. So yeah, the YouTube is going to be great. I'm looking to do other videos on YouTube as well, just to maybe play that out a little bit. But no promises on that. I'm trying to fit it into the schedule. That all might be like end of the year if I start doing extra YouTube videos, because I do have a lot of stuff that goes on between now and then March when softball season starts. That gets kind of busy through the summer. So yeah, I think Summer Games Fest might be the next big thing we do. And you'll see in the news whenever they announce Switch 2, we'll probably be live with that if it's during a time that we can be live with that. If not, we'll just talk over it later, even if we've seen the details as well. And 3, the new series that I'm going to be doing, which is mostly stream and YouTube, is when I start a new game, whatever it is, if it's old, new, whatever, when I start a new game, I'm going to stream the first hour or 2 or more if we're really into it with you guys. And especially if it's a newer release, I'm going to, just so you can see throughout the year the games that I'm playing. So that, it's not just me talking to you. You kind of can see the games and make a decision for yourselves. This includes sports games and stuff like that. That could be like that could be at random times. So just keep your notifications ready. I'm more doing that as a YouTube thing. So if you're here for Twitch, great. But if you see me pop up at Wilds, maybe. Yeah, if I get it, it's a money thing too. Or if it's on Game Pass, then definitely. I will try any and all games that you guys suggest for at least an hour or so. So you may see a stream pop up at 9, 10 in the morning. That'll probably be one of those streams. So just be on the lookout. And if we get a game I really like, then anytime I'm planning on playing it, I will stream it. Unless if I will try not to play it on stream nights. So that'd be like Monday, Thursday, Saturday. Saturday nights. Saturday I can do it, but just Monday and Thursday, no can do. I'm probably not gonna be playing games those on Monday anyway, because I have to watch the movie for TC Tam if I haven't already. But yeah, so a lot of exciting things. I'm gonna be doing a lot more here. Whether it gets any traction or not, I don't know. But I love the people that do show up all the time here and just giving you more content, and maybe collaborate a little bit more at Roxy Foxy over the next, playing some more Dead by Daylight and maybe some Phasmo. I think that meta of that game has so far surpassed me, even outside of the bit that I have about it. It is like they were talking and doing stuff that I had no idea, despite having played 25 hours of that game previously. So I think they've passed me on that cycle. At least with Dead by Daylight, I've been keeping up with most of it. So yeah. So that's basically what I've been playing. And rundown of 2025 is going to be a great year. Yeah, I am excited for what's upcoming here. And yeah, I hope if you guys have anything that you would like to see, feel free to let us know in the wherever you have. Let me see here. Yeah, wherever you have. Sounds like. I think it's more that I don't want to be the drag on a team, and I would certainly, Like, they were making a joke calling me the president, where they had to protect me so I didn't die, which is probably true. I literally backed into where the ghost appears and died in the first run, because they come out of the TV and I had the TV to my back. I think that's more of the problem. Me having a phobia to phasmophobia. Yeah. So anyway, let's move on to the news. So, on Nintendo Switch, 2 leaks ramp up as the new patent suggested AI imaging upscaling tech. So we were talking about AI stuff before, and this patent was filed in July of 2023, and describes AI image upscaling technology that will keep video game downloads small enough to fit a physical game cartridge while offering 4K textures. So hold on. Oh, hey Roxy, how you doing? Thanks for the raid. We were just going through the news. The the music confused me. I thought a tab was playing music. Welcome, Raiders. So we're just talking about the Switch 2 leak here. So this is a Switch 2 motherboard, supposedly, in quotes. What we know so far is that the Switch 2 will be backwards compatible with old Switch games, which was pretty cool. And they said they will announce the Switch 2 by the end of March 2025. Which meaning the reveal will come at some point. Apparently, the text is white on this chat thing, so it's virtually useless. Here. Oh, man. Okay. Let me see if I can fix that. Chat, I just want to check this out, guys. Let's see. Is there a way? No. Let's see. Filters. Let's see. Color key. Is there? Oh no, that's just for, okay. Nope, close that. Okay. I'm going to have to yeah, we might have to do it through Stream Elements or anything, so we'll know for next time. Or I'll put a black background there. Yeah. Yeah, you don't, if you can give it a background, you don't have to change the color and it would work across all games. You know. Yeah, so, because changing the text color may fuck it up elsewhere, but putting like a background on it might work. Sorry for the audio listeners out there. This means nothing to you. Anyway, back to Nintendo. So we should be hearing something in the next 3 months here. There's going to be a USB-C port on the top and bottom of the console, which I guess for power and the controller plug-in probably. It has 12 gigabytes of RAM. Switch only had 4. And 256 gigabytes of internal storage. Switch only had 32. There's a new C button on the right Joy-Con as well. So it'll be interested to see what that's for. And there's everybody's basically announcing that the Switch 2 is coming. So again, wait to see what the announcements are, and that will be live on Game Vault Pod here, whether tape delayed or live, depending on when the actual announcement is. Alright, second story. I just thought this was funny. GTA 6 is projected to make over $3 billion in its first year on sale, according to the Financial Times. I guess we'll have to wait and see for that C button. Correct, Night Duck. Yeah, so it's going to be currently due out in the fall, which they should hit. And the for GTA's first 12 months on sale would be 3.2 billion. To put that into perspective, the highest grossing movie of 2024, Inside Out 2, was just shy of 1.7 billion. And it took Grand Theft Auto 5 just 3 days to surpass $1.1 billion in sales, the fastest that figure in entertainment history. So they're saying, basically I pulled this because they're saying that it's going to triple in a year what Grand Theft Auto 5 did. Yeah, there could be as much as looks like that the huge projected revenue is up against similarly high development cost for Financial Times estimate from the high 100 millions to as much as $2 billion to make this game. I don't think it's $2 billion. I could see it getting close to $1 billion, depending on what they do. And it is definitely the kind of game that'll sell consoles. So if they've done it, as it says here, it'll push the PS5 Pro, for sure, if needed. Some are predicting, yeah, that's true, how long it's been in development too. Yeah, 2 billion just seems high. Like I said, I could see it getting to $1 billion or a little over, but 2 billion just seems really high. So the almost guaranteed success of GTA, despite the industry being tough, but GTA is just one of those games. It's just an exception to the rule. It may delay into 2026. I don't think they want to do that. They may, but I think they want to hit it during the holidays and be the big game of the fall. They don't need to hit a time. They can come out whenever and sell $1 billion in things. But and they IGN, as I'm reading this, has a lot on this, and Rockstar Dev, who says the studio won't decide whether to put won't be able to decide whether GTA is delayed until May 2025. So we'll have to wait till May to see if it's actually coming out in the fall. I think they'll keep it there. And then Koei responds to whether it's coming to PC and the trying to run GTA at 60 frames per second. So yeah, so that's your GTA 6 update. Probably one of the bigger, most anticipated games of the past few years. I guess I don't know if there's anything else, like remakes, the first thing that comes to mind for something anticipated. Maybe Starfield was, but GTA 6 is just a whole other beast in terms of anticipation. So, yeah. Moving on, our final story is the PlayStation Plus monthly games for 2025 in January. The first one's here. I'll see if they have a list here. Nope, I have to read the article. God damn it. As detailed on the PlayStation blog, these games, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered, and the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe will be available January 7th for PlayStation Plus. Need for Speed I already had on Xbox because of EA, and they gave me free stuff, but this is probably why they gave me free stuff. So people didn't go there to download it. Excuse me. Yeah, it'll be the fun part about Justice League being free is that they are pulling the plug after the new content for Season 4 arrives in January. But there's a lot to look forward to if you haven't played the game yet. It's just repetitive and bland, Sluter. So if you really like DC stuff, go ahead and do that. And then Need for Speed and Stanley Parable are how many times? Well, I mean, technically he can own it on 2 systems now. It can be my it can be. It won't be like my Final Fantasy X remake or remaster, which I own on 4 systems? PC, PS3, PS4, and... Oh, and I think it was on Game Pass at one point, and I had to download it. Yeah, and then also Tom with the Final Fantasy. But yeah, I basically... And the fun part is, 10 is probably my second or third favorite Final Fantasy game. Not even my favorite. That I own on 2 systems. Yeah, so... Yeah, that's Final Fantasy 6. Yeah. But yeah. We all have that game that we will rebuy no matter how many times it comes out here. So if you're looking for some free games to play in the new year because you finished out everything, the Need for Speed, Suicide, Justice Squad, and Stanley Parable is great. I played a little bit of it, but not all. But I just heard great things about it. So feel free to pick those up. Yeah, that's it for the news. These last 3 weeks, basically the video game industry shuts down. So hopefully next week we'll have some new stuff going. But yeah, that'll do it here. Just a reminder, we'll be here tonight if you're listening to this on the podcast or watching on YouTube with some Sonic 3. And then Thursday, we have... Oh, great. I'll figure it out. I can probably put something there. What's it called? Yeah, if you want to raid somebody, feel free. So I just don't know how to do it or know anyone that's live right now. Thursday is Chrono Trigger. Friday is our top 10 or games of the year thing, which I'm doing. I got to send them. I'm going to have 1 or 2 categories that are not our top 3. And it's very simple stuff. Not anything crazy. Not like... I do want to interject this. Pretty funny. I think everybody in chat will enjoy this joke. So I was listening to Game of the Year's podcast because I've been doing a lot of driving for stupid shit with my mother. And one of their categories was best hole, and the winner was a hole in Silent Hill 2 that's just out of nowhere in a wall that you stick your hand in to get a key. But one of the runners up was the hole in Aerith in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And I nearly spit out my drink in my car when that was announced as one of the choices. Because it is so insanely clever for that category. And it ended up being one of the top 3. It was magical. It's been a while since I've laughed that hard at Giant Bomb content. And the funny part is, I think it was sent in by maybe a combination of Tamar Hussein and Nikki Grayson, who are like Nikki's newer and Tamar is on GameSpot, and so it's not even Giant Bomb people that are currently employed by them. That made probably the best joke of the podcast so far. It was great. But excuse me. But yeah, that came up it reminded me of that. But yeah, so that'll be on Friday, our Game of the Year podcast. My top 10 video will go up on Monday as well. With that, so unless if there's a lot of news stories, just as a fair warning, I'm going to check on Sunday. If there's like 2 stories, we are not doing a news hour next Sunday. Just for the sheer fact that you're going to have a 2 things going up on Monday, along with me playing Sonic on that Monday. So just be on the lookout. I will announce that on our socials. But yeah. So that'll be Friday. Saturday we're gonna finish Return Nights, and then we might do something random the next Saturday, just a palate cleanser. Maybe I'll do some of the randomizers or something. On the next Saturday before we start up Trails in the Sky, second chapter. So that's everything here. I hope you guys have had a fun first week of the your boy is going back to the office tomorrow or tonight, and Jen Roxy Foxy is going to send us over on a raid here. So thank you for everybody in chat. Metal Militia, Night Duck, Dan, Roxy. Thank you for being there. So yeah, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.